Most people chase success once. They did it twice. Anthony Lolli built a 100-location real estate empire from a $1,000 loan and sold it for millions. Real estate educator, author of The Heart of the Deal, Anthony mastered the art of turning hustle into legacy. He had everything most people dream about until he looked in the mirror and saw a different battle to win. In just 9 months, he lost 150 pounds. No surgery, no shortcuts, just discipline, pain, and relentless belief. And standing beside him through it all, his wife, TereZa. 32-time bodybuilding champions, 15 nine-time award-winning video editors, leaders of a new biohacking movement that's rewriting what the human body and mind can do. This is more than a conversation. It's a masterclass in resilience, discipline, and human optimization. This is Anthony and TereZa Lolli, and you're listening to the Grow Wisely Podcast.
Welcome to Grow Wisely. I was watching, some of your stuff online, got caught up in a documentary, and became obsessed. There's so many life lessons here. There's so much grit and determination and will and obstacles and adversity and challenge and highs and lows. And I'm like, there's no way we could unpack this on one podcast, but we're going to do our best to unpack what's important today. So welcome, guys. Appreciate you being here. Let's dive in. Before we get into like any type of biohacking and cognitive health and all that stuff, I want to know more about you. So Anthony, one question that I have is when you went through the journey and the mindset and who you were a very ambitious and successful business person prior, but then you lost 120 pounds. What happened to you internally that no one can see?
The 9 failures, the 9 times that I failed, thinking I was a know-it-all, thinking that I didn't need to put the 10,000 hours in to learn how to lose weight. You know, anytime you get into any venture, whether it be business or fitness, and you can't short and cheat the actual 10,000 hours. So the way I was able to acquire that was hiring a coach, getting my family on board, being motivated by what my wife did. She had a few tricks up her sleeve to finally convince me to lose weight.
Yep.
Understanding that, I wanted to live not just for myself, but for my family. Because I had given up on life. I had done almost everything that I thought, including trying to cheat the system. I had done a gastric sleeve, and that was a flop. I lost 50 and then I gained 70. And then what happened was I got sleep apnea, I got sick, I was getting in the hospital.
Okay.
And I told my wife, just leave me alone. I'm going to die fat and happy. She didn't give up. Kids didn't give up. My mom, and then together, it was really, ultimately it was up to me. No one could eat for me or do the push-ups for me, but just looking at them and not wanting to be a burden on them. And then also gamifying it. I had to really bring in a business component to my weight loss journey. So once I decided, okay, now I'm in the business of losing weight. So let me treat this like a business.
Yeah, that's incredible. And a lot of people, they do that where they'll try to accomplish something really hard and the why isn't strong enough. And so like you said, you lost 50 and gained 70, but all of a sudden there was the real why.
Yes.
How did that come about? How did that get uncovered? Because most people, they're trying to achieve something big in life. They're trying to get to the next level, but they don't really do a good job of like trying to dig deeper to find out like what's really driving me to do it. Sometimes it naturally or accidentally appears. Sometimes you can find it. How did you discover your why?
Well, TereZa and I were together for quite a while, and then it was all fun and games until we had kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we had kids, it was like, okay, do you really want to be a burden on the kids? Do you not want to walk your daughter down the aisle? Do you not want to be something for your son to be proud of? It was that kind of conversation.
I mean, all the success you've achieved, it's going to come down to that moment when you're not able to walk your daughter down the aisle. Like, whew.
Yeah, ouch.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then honestly, it wasn't fair. We met and we got married, and it's supposed to be till death do us part, right?
Right.
But if you want to be a fat jerk off, which is what I was, because honestly, the reality is I would have been a burden on her. It's not like I get fat, I eat a burger and I die. I could, it was like a slow death.
Right.
And then now it goes from being in the hospital to living her life. You know what I mean?
Also beyond that, he was already starting to influence the kids.
Yeah. Right.
I'm over here giving broccoli and all the holistic things and going to the farmer's market and smelling the veggies to see if there's glyphosate or not.
Right.
And he's just like chilling with his mac and cheese, and the kids start, not wanting to eat what I'm serving. So it was also beyond him too. He's like, wow, I'm affecting these children's lives. So
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
As a wife, like you look at him now, and look at how attractive he is, right?
Beauty.
Oh no. Look, I threw her off. She's blushing and she's flustered now. Like I totally threw her off with that. But before, like, how did that make you feel as a wife? Because it's a sensitive subject, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you can just bring that up over and over again without hurting your relationship.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's hard to stay quiet because you love him so much. How did you navigate that?
So first and foremost, I think I had a really strong head on my shoulders, and my parents really taught me to fall in love with the human heart, not the look. So I love him today, yesterday, and in the future, the same way, right? It's actually, our love is growing continuously. So his weight never really bothered me in that way. But I was very attracted to him. I looked at him. I was attracted just like I look at him and I'm attracted to him right now. But the conversations, what you're saying, definitely were sensitive. So I had to always find an angle.
Right.
So when we were first just dating, he was like, oh, hey, I'm going to get a blood work done. Let's do it together. So it's always like that to try to have him see, oh, look at my blood markers and look at yours. And, it's not quite optimal. And I know he was competitive, like he had a competitive nature.
Oh,
so
for sure.
At first it was that. So we made it into like a fun thing. It was a dating thing, right? We would go and get our panels done. We had bone density scans done.
Yep.
He had like no interest in health or anything. He was doing that to please me. And I was doing that to wake him up.
Right.
So first he just thought, I'm just going to be this cool guy and just go support her. Little did he know, I was just opening his eyes up little by little by little. So that was like one phase. And we were engaged. I was like, okay, well, we're going to get ready for kids and whatever. Let's just juice together. That was like another one. So we can get healthy to produce a healthy kid. So it was always like another route.
Yeah.
Until the moment came when our son was born, Legend, and he just wouldn't sleep. This kid was up all night. The longest he would sleep was a 40-minute cycle.
Yeah.
And I knew something was up. So this is actually how our journey into biohacking began 7 years ago. He's 7 years old now, healthier than ever. Thank God to biohacking and functional medicine, we discovered exactly what was going on because he was misdiagnosed 7 times.
Wow.
But back to the story, I was delusional. I was exhausted. I've been patient. I've tried all these angles. I've even booked jobs like modeling and acting jobs because our kids were child actors where they would hire the whole family and they would hire a dad character to model with us. I've done everything. And it was just that one moment we were in a restaurant and I was one of those nights where I haven't slept. And I, kind of told her, I was like, stop doing that. And then my daughter wanted to grab the French fries and I said, don't do it. You're going to be fat. And I said the word and I was like, I'm just going to be rude. And I think that was it.
Yeah, well, my daughter didn't know what the word fat meant. And then she showed her a YouTube video.
Yeah, the YouTube
she looked
video.
at me and she said, you're fat. I don't want you to die.
That's huge.
There's many things though, right? It's not just like one and done.
No, that wasn't
one only thing.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of seeds that were planted over time. And then there was the one why that revealed itself that really hit home and sparked the fire. I wouldn't even call it motivation. It was like a fire. Because if you guys go watch this documentary, Fat Lolly, Six Pack Lolly, like fire. Like I worked out 4 days this week. And after I watched the documentary, I felt like I'm such a slacker. So there's a lot of room for improvement there. And by the way, your kids' names are Love and Legend Lion, the most epic names ever. We need to do a better job of naming our kids. But one of the things that I'm really interested in is how people achieve goals. So there's different types of goal achievement. Like some people are very high driver people. They'll just go, and they're naturally goal oriented. Then some people are connectors where they'll bring people along. And some people are analysts and they'll analyze everything before they start, have a really detailed plan. And some people are stabilizers and they need really small incrementals so they don't get overwhelmed. You, my friend, are a connector because you pulled the whole world together with you on this mission.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
I think it comes from being a real estate guy where you have to connect all trades in order to build from the ground up.
Yep.
You have to have the blueprints. You have to have the electrician, the carpenter. All the trades need to talk to each other. You have to have the financing in place. And then you want to have an exit strategy and all that kind of stuff. And so when you look at a business or anything that you do, and I think, when you think about it, even a woman, when she's looking to get engaged, she's connecting the dots. Okay, engagement, engagement party, wedding, your reception, honeymoon, like that's all planned and it comes, they manifest it, right? So you can do that with anything that you want to do. And then, TereZa is an excellent manifester. So I think that combination of, someone having the vision and then someone actually putting that vision to life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also not leaving any stone unturned.
Right.
So that was my personal goal, because I was like, I went through my journey with my son, and on the path of healing him, I recognized how many stones could have stayed unturned and how many wrong decisions I could have made that would have ultimately impacted his life, our marriage, our family, our daughter's happiness, right? Everything could have just gone south. Had we not gone all out.
Right.
So when we started filming the documentary, we knew we have to bring everyone together, everyone we vetted, verified, and we knew of, and we had a connection to.
Yeah.
And so 114 people
That's amazing.
was that number. And then, of course, SHIELD, which is the next documentary that we're going to unveil at the Cannes Film Festival. 77 experts were brought on board. And now with biological dentistry, another 77. So we're reaching about 300 expert interviews within just 2 years.
That's incredible. Yeah, you guys are really good at pulling people together to accomplish a specific documentary or a mission, and you're both connectors. You're really good at that. And that's important, because what really spoke to me, there was one thing, and we'll move on from the documentary here in a second on that story, is I was really spoken to when you said that your thoughts in your head were, I'm getting to a point where I know I'm going to plateau.
Right.
And I've been there before, and the writing's on the wall. And if I don't make a change or do something to push past that point, I'm going to go backwards.
Right.
And so you were proactive in soliciting the right people. I think that's when you hired the nutritionist.
Yes.
And you're like, come live with me.
Yeah.
And that was the game-changing pivotal moment of foresight, of knowing yourself. And I'm a huge advocate of like, hey, learn your tendencies, learn your superpowers, learn your kryptonite, learn who you are,
right? Because
then you can get ahead of those things.
Well, I mean, look, anybody that's obese has their 10 to 20 pound trick up their sleeve. Anybody that's obese has 3 sizes in their closet.
Right.
And so I already knew what I was going to do to lose 10, 20 pounds, but I knew I was going to fall off after that. But this time I needed to anchor my commitment by having someone live with me was the big deal. And also when I FaceTimed him, when we were interviewing each other to see if it was a good fit, he used to be fat himself. And so I knew that I could identify, found my own tribe. So secondly, I'm a person that wants to provide value more than just money, right? I want to be able to provide knowledge and mentorship. My whole life, I've mentored people, grew organizations. It's just a leadership quality and a giving quality. And so he had a tattoo on his arm that said millionaire. And I said, are you a millionaire? He said, no, sir. I said, if you live with me, you'll be a millionaire. You'll teach me everything. And I'll teach you everything I know.
After the show, you're going to have 100 people move in.
So, and he's gone on to become a millionaire.
That's so
we're going to the UAE to do a podcast, a reunion with him.
Love that.
And talk about
another thing that was pivotal was this vision board picture that we created. It was an 8-pack guy, actually.
Yeah.
Who was it? It's actually a pretty
popular guy. I forgot his name. Yeah.
I didn't know who he was. I just random picture and photoshopped his head, and we printed it out. We literally posted it everywhere in the house. So now,
really, like all over the house, not just in a private area.
Yeah,
everywhere now.
Yes, okay. I mean, especially in the bathroom, right? In the toilet, where he spends most of his time. Just random places that he spends most of his time looking. At least he looks up, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was such a pivotal moment, because it no longer became about weight loss; it became about transformation.
Yes.
So once you get that through your head and you understand this is a different game, then every painful day, you're seeing that picture, and you don't want to give up on that guy or that girl.
Let me ask you a question. Did your did you see, and did your identity shift before the transformation, or was it lagging, and was it after the transformation?
The transformation for someone like myself, and that's why it resonated with a lot of business owners, C-suite executives. The biggest fan base we have are founders and wives of founders, people that own their own companies, because they've managed to achieve success, everything except their health.
Right.
And so when I lost the weight, all of my friends and even employees and staff members were like, I never thought of you as fat. They just, because I carried it like Tony Soprano. You think about Tony Soprano, you don't think of him as a fat guy.
No.
So when you're a leader and you're in a leadership position and an executive position, and you've succeeded in so many different things, people look past that. And also, I think when you're obese, your personality becomes larger than your, and so, but yeah, the mental switch.
Wait a minute, is that actually true?
Yeah.
Like when you're obese, you have a better, bigger personality?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've never heard that before. Now, I know it to be very common, like among people that I know.
Yeah, to compensate.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. I've never heard
They
of
become more likable. These are life skills.
Okay.
Because they already know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
They already know, it's a whole different skill set.
It's a strong suit.
It becomes another sense.
Yeah.
That's like superhealing for the blind.
Yeah.
So you have that ability to magnetize people in a way where they look past that.
That's so interesting.
So, yeah.
Personality-wise, though, he hasn't changed personality-wise, but his brain has gotten sharper.
Yeah.
That's for sure. After all the optimization, after all the toxic, and fat holds toxins. So when you offload that, you offload the toxins too. And we did, rounds of parasite cleansing, rounds of detoxing and optimization. Now we're at that level of like really, I don't know if we're ever going to peak, but we're almost like reaching that peak where we feel limitless, right?
So I have a follow-up question on brain health, right? And so I do want to get into the biohacking because I'm really big in managing your state. And I believe that if you're tired all the time, if you're unmotivated, you're unenergized, you're not sleeping well, these things can impact like achievement, goals, success, family, relationships. I mean, it has a ripple effect in your life.
Sure.
So what would you say, TereZa, on biohacking for your brain, or like for the layperson? Let's pretend no one knows what biohacking even is.
Yeah.
Like let's set the stage of what is biohacking, and then how does it impact your brain to live a better quality of life for a brighter future tomorrow?
Yeah. So biohacking is really combining the ancient methods, the functional medicine and the holistic ways with the new tech to kind of undo all the harms that's being done to you from the environment and from the food and from the water and from the air and from the EMF and everything that the modern life entails. Mm-hmm. So that's really biohacking. We like to call it unhacking almost.
Unhacking? Okay.
Unhacking, right? Because we're being hacked every single second.
Right.
So biohacking is bringing yourself back to the natural state.
Right.
Brain optimization, I mean, the number one thing is to really start understanding that it's an organ and respect your brain as if it's an organ.
Okay.
Also, really understand that any childhood falls could actually manifest into something throughout this lifetime. So even respecting that and really understanding, so your brain is not what it is at this point. It has had an entire life. It has had falls, childhood falls especially, like we've gone through it with our kids. It has had traumas. It has had toxins. It has had mercury overload. So your brain is at this current moment, wherever you are in your life, it is more than it is right now. It could be more than what it is right now. And that's what we found out in the last 2 years, that we thought we were smart guys, smart people.
Yeah.
And the crazy unpacking of intelligence and unlimited thoughts that have come to us has definitely impressed us. So the way we biohack our brain is test, right? So we went to Dr. Daniel Amen clinic, the Amen clinic. He has 11 clinics around the United States. So just Google and find the one that's near you. And you would understand after the scan, your brain functionality.
Right.
How is your brain functioning? Are you functioning to your full potential? Are you not? That test really, really helped me see, wow, this is my baby.
How did they determine that?
Yeah. So they actually they do testing through the computer. You do a lot of dot connecting, a lot of words, a lot of memory stuff.
Oh, they scan you.
Scan
too.
you
They
through an MRI,
sure.
everything.
He's
With the guy,
worked with, we interviewed him.
Justin
We worked with
Bieber.
Justin
He's
Bieber.
worked with many
He was on the cover of our first inaugural.
Yeah.
We loved him so much.
Oh, is this?
Yeah, Dr. Daniel
So
Amen.
he's really one of the most sophisticated doctors we've met.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah. A lot
There's
of
the
people.
EEG machine that
Right.
actually tests how your brain is wiring, just like your muscles. Like if you don't have a bicep on the right side and you have a bicep on the left side, it's going to be off, right?
Right.
So that's how our brain is. Like your back of the brain, let's say, is not firing properly. That's affecting your memory. That's affecting your mood. And then your hormones and everything like that is all interconnected. So finding a functional medicine doctor, after you do your brain testing to understand where you are, there's brain supplementations that can actually help you. Then you find a functional medicine doctor to do all of your hormonal panel, all of your blood work, and just test where are you right now, your baseline. Because the hormonal panel actually affects your brain functionality too.
Okay.
Yeah. You can actually optimize your brain by just optimizing your hormones.
Yeah.
But they have to
be
be-
there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the hormone replacement has to be with holistic and organic ingredients. So we actually prefer to go to Create with the number 8 pharmacy. So that was another thing that we've tried. That I personally, I'm very sensitive to anything. I'm very organically raised. So if I'm taking a hormone replacement therapy and it's made with a synthetic base,
Right.
it affects me. Like I'll break out. My face will look like,
Right.
I'm an 18-year-old going through puberty or whatever,
Mhm.
So we found the pharmacy that actually has the most cleanest ingredients. So that's another thing to consider when you're going through all of these optimizations, one step at a time though, right?
Right.
First the testing, then the hormones, then the supplements.
What for the people at home, maybe they're a little overwhelmed thinking, wow, I got to go see a doctor. I have to have the EKGs or the all scans. And I
Yeah.
have to do all these tests. And like, it seems like it's out of reach. What would be the one small first next step to like inch towards biohacking and for your body or your brain health?
So I think first thing is you want to find your tribe. Like I did with the Fat Lolly documentary, I discovered the word transformation. When I discovered the word transformation, I saw 500-pound people losing weight. The man with no shoes felt bad for himself until he saw the man with no feet. When I
Right.
saw people that fat losing weight, I'm like, what's my excuse, right? So then my algorithms changed. Then I started seeing a lot of people losing weight in many different ways, people that I could identify with. Then I started looking for a coach, and then I found my coach that used to be obese. So we created that community with the Biohack Yourself platform. So you don't have to worry about those things. One good functional medicine quarterback, they're functional medicine doctors, but I call them the quarterback, the architect.
Mm-hmm.
One good meeting with that person, it doesn't break the bank too, by the way. They'll do a telemedicine thing for a couple $100.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Really?
Yeah, it's nothing. It's not like it's
Yeah.
tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And by the way, in our documentaries, we actually bring on
the people.
very
that's
legitimate
great.
doctors that are open for business. They're not unreachable stars that no longer
Right.
practice.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
when you throw out like, Justin Bieber, people are like, well, I can't afford that. Right.
No,
The
yeah.
clinic is actually
Right.
available
The clinic
for
is,
business.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
So
Yeah.
we introduce people in our work. Our work is really us interviewing people to work with.
Right.
That's our work. And so we're not, these are people that we actually went on their protocols. We asked them questions. When you watch our work, you're like a fly on the wall in the room
Yeah.
with the doctor.
Yeah.
And we're asking them simple questions like, what does that mean? What do you mean, telomeres? What is
Yeah.
photobiomodulator? What is
Yeah,
this?
everything does seem overwhelming at
Yeah,
first. But
yeah.
again, we've created this hub, and the documentary is a perfect start. Biohack Yourself on Amazon Prime.
Mhm.
We watch all 5 parts. You'll learn so much about the basics.
Baby
Red
steps.
light therapy,
Yeah. That's awesome.
red light therapy, PEMF therapy. You learn about hydrogen
Water.
therapy, how to how to cleanse your water and filter your water. Of course, food and nutrition. I mean, that's being said, and like people understand you have
Right.
to eat well, you have to nourish yourself. But there's a lot of things that you could be eating healthy or think of it that you're eating healthy,
And it's not.
but you're poisoning yourself, or the nutrients are not going through because you have certain genetic mutations or expressions, or you have leaky gut, or you're so full of glyphosates and parasites that it's just not working out for you.
That's
So
Or sleep.
Yeah.
Your sleep is bad.
yeah. That would be me.
Yeah.
I'm in that camp because I work too much and I don't sleep. So that would be my camp.
But you may or may not know, you need to take a DNA, get your genetic makeup, you may not require that much sleep. So here you are, beating yourself down over sleep, but meanwhile, you just need 6 hours. That's it.
That's the bare minimum that every single person should do is get a genetic test.
That's it.
We love the 10X Health, we love the DNA Life, and we love the SNP diagnostics. So once you check that, you get your consultation and you understand what is your genetic makeup. What are some of the genes that are misbehaving or not behaving properly? They're a little like limpy, or they're a little bit broken and they're not expressing themselves properly. And they're not really letting you live your fullest. And there's supplementation that doesn't maybe reverse the genetic mutations or expressions, but they actually complement it towards the genes start acting as if they're full on normal.
Okay.
So that can be transformational. Just start there, right there.
What would be one example of that? So if someone has some sort of genetic area that they wanted to supplement for to get it back normal, what would be one example?
Perfect. Our son, MTHFR gene mutation. So Gary Brecka talks about it loudly. The cover of our second magazine, Gary Brecka talks about MTHFR gene mutation, which basically doesn't allow you to methylate iron. And it also, you lack on detoxing. So our son, who was misdiagnosed 7 times by the Western medicine, we have had titles like restless leg syndrome, Lyme disease, on the spectrum, you name it, scary labels and medication that came with each label. Okay. And once we went the alternative path, when we came to genetic testing, we discovered this MTHFR gene mutation. It was just all about detoxing. We had mold in our HVAC system. So he was congested with mold and he couldn't detox himself. So just the simple understanding, if you have that specific gene mutation, gives you this power. You can take methylated vitamins Bs. This actually ends up giving you the Bs that's necessary for your body to function. And you will stay away from non-methylated Bs. For example, if you're eating cereal that's fortified with iron, and on the labels it says iron, you have to stay away from those because that goes and becomes heavy metal in your brain.
A layman's term is you have a problem with your car. You bring it to the mechanic.
Yeah, the good analogy.
All right?
Yeah.
And the guy's like, you need high quality unleaded. Meanwhile, you're supposed to only have diesel. You understand?
Yes.
So now you're thinking, oh, well, you're using 87. You got to do 93, high octane.
Right.
Now you're getting more of the worst fuel that's damaging the engine.
Yeah.
And so that's what the methylation issue is.
Yeah.
Right.
They're already saying, oh, yeah, he's got to get this. Meanwhile, it would just be more harm, not digestible, damaging him, turn into metal. It would have been worse. So that's most people's cases.
Yeah.
So that makes really good sense. Now I like fully understand. And that's a good example of how that can work. The movie Limitless.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So one of my favorite movies of all time. I have this weird obsession with movies where the person is like 10 times smarter in the room than everybody else.
Yes.
And they find a way to shortcut life and hack everything. And I'm just like, yes, how do I do that?
Yes.
So with that being said, when I think of biohacking and I think of cognitive health, I think of like speed of cognitive processing.
Correct.
I think of energy in the brain. I think of the ability to achieve more. How close are we to this? Is this reality? Like how fiction to reality? Where are we on this?
We're on that ourselves. The reality is our processing speed is 200 times faster than it was before we started the documentary.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
200 times faster?
We are on almost every brain optimization.
I mean, I can't judge his brain optimization like he can judge mine. Because when I met him, his brain was already operating at a very high level, right? Mm-hmm. Business entrepreneur and everything like that. But he had watched me go from, like complete mom fog brain to...
Yeah, I mean, really,
say that.
What it boils down to is the iPhone 1 to today's iPhone, the process.
The process of power, right.
And also, remember, it's a lot like the movie Limitless, right? The Russian mobster was only better at the stuff he knew, which was like murder and crime and things like that. Not necessarily. And also, right now, I absorb information. Like we're doing a dental documentary. I'm looking at dental studies. I mean, I'm a dental expert at this point and listening to...
And the connecting of the dots is happening faster, I would say.
Okay.
Well, there's many things, though, to get to that brain optimization. You don't just start at the brain, too. Yes, understand that brain is an organ. Go get yourself tested. But let's not forget, my brain started acting way better when I took out my IUD.
Right.
It's TMI, but at the end of filming Biohack Yourself documentary, I was still kind of inflamed. I was like, this is great, but there was something still inflaming me. So David Perez, who's a part of Biohack Yourself, did a frequency test on me. And he said, can you please take all your jewelry, anything that's metal, take it out. So I went to do the frequency test and he said, well, I thought I told you to take the metals out. I was like, yes, I did. He's like, you have an IUD, don't you? I was like, yes, I do. He said, go get that thing out tomorrow.
Wow.
When I took it out, it was covered in mold.
Wow. Okay.
When I took it out 2 months later, after I was on herbal detoxification protocols, my brain just lit up, right? And I haven't even started brain optimization. And at that point, I hadn't even started peptides. Yeah. I'm just talking about taking inflammatory things.
Yeah.
Another thing is to not overlook is your dental work. Now we're doing the biological dental documentary. My mother at the age of 62 with perfect blood work, perfect organs, everything's great, losing her memory. And now we're starting to think, is this early onset? Like what's happening? She lost her green card. She's leaving plastic containers on the stove. She forgot like one of our kids in the parking lot. Like it's bad.
Yeah.
So turns out her entire upper arch had root canals, which means when they take your root that's at that time infected and causing you tooth pain, they take the root out. They forget to understand that there's many other roots that are tinier, so they don't take that out. So they still leave the infection in there. And then in order to preserve the tooth, with all good intentions, they want to preserve the tooth, but the tooth is dead. They end up putting a metal post in there in my mother's mouth. This was done in Armenia. I can't wait to find that dentist. I'm so angry.
You better keep her away from that dentist.
But like putting a metal post to preserve a dead tooth.
Right.
Just does that fit in any of this understanding of how is that even like doable? And then they put a cap that was covered in metal. And so all of this metal was causing massive inflammation, causing memory loss and not wiring the brain in a proper way. So you have to first look at interferences, like what is really interfering with your brain.
Right.
And then once you get all of that out, the parasites is another big thing, right? Now every 6 months, we're doing a massive parasite cleanse, 21-day cleanse. I got the holistic route and I got the medicated route. I got the one with Firefly machine where they zap our parasites and we can hear them. Sounds like
Are you serious?
I'm
That's
serious.
That's next level biohacking.
I'm
right?
dead serious.
That is insane.
So you take those out of your body, then you go the route of PRPs and peptides and all of these things to completely light things up.
So if I hear you correctly, it's first about eliminating inflation, any type of inflammatory stuff, which is hurting your brain, hurting your body.
Yeah.
And then parasites. So at first it's like almost like detoxing your body, getting rid of all the bad before you start putting the good in.
Yeah.
Correct.
Is that correct?
And detox is not only just physical, but emotional, right? What stressors do you have at home? Because if you're under stress, you're not going to be able to kind of be in a parasympathetic state for anything to take effect.
Right.
So really understanding your environment. Also, there's a lot of case studies where someone is living next to something that has a lot of rubber and tires and stuff that they're inhaling, and that's causing damage. Or
the EMF.
EMFs, or those plugins that have the aroma.
Yeah.
Those are endocrine disruptors, and they can honestly damage you. Or
my wife is going to watch this episode.
Yeah.
I'm going to come home in a week and the whole house is going to be upside down.
Well, that's what happened to us. By the way, I came across Steve Gundry and then Dr. Tom O'Brien's book, Autoimmune Fix. And that's what turned our house upside down. When our son was going through the whole thing, came across this book, Autoimmune Fix, changed my life and understanding of where should I go to look for answers.
That's so good.
So your wife should read that.
And not only that, I have somebody on my team that has like some autoimmune stuff going on right now that would really benefit.
And that's all, by the way, so fixable, so fast.
Yeah.
Another thing about brain that I've recognized is not only treating it like an organ, but like a muscle structure, what he said.
Yeah.
And actually implementing exercises. And the way we do that with our children and ourselves, we'll watch movies by just listening to them.
Oh, interesting.
So we'll turn on some movies. Literally.
Audio, so your brain creatively fills in the images.
Thank you.
Right?
We got it. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. No.
So it's a big exercise. I feel like that's imagination, muscle development, but it also helps your brain because now you are able to create things with your brain that you wouldn't when you're just watching what's given to you.
Yeah, that's interesting. The sound effects, the music, the vocals.
And there's a lot of quiet moments. You're like, it's happening.
Yeah, and then you have to fill it in, and then
you have to fill it in.
That's next road trip. That's what we're doing. We're doing podcast movies on the way up. For people that are watching that are just learning about biohacking, they can go to Biohack Yourself. How do they start? How do they start just taking that baby step? You know, getting involved or learning, because it can be overwhelming because it's such a, I wouldn't say totally new space, but it's newer in relationship to the, hundreds of years.
So we kind of set it where there's like levels to it, right? So you could start off by watching the Biohack Yourself docuseries. There's 5 episodes.
Okay.
And within those 5 episodes, those are kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade introductions into biohacking. From there, we introduce you to our website, our social handles. Also, everyone that we interviewed, we've worked with personally, and they also have their own podcasts. They have their own websites. They're actual practitioners.
Nice.
So what we do on the website is shepherd you. We give you articles. We have something called peer review, where we review the products and services with our own faculty of regular people that have been harmed or have access to knowledge or have personally worked with these individuals or these products or services. So they vouch for them.
Yeah.
And so then we create another love language, was this magazine. Now we have a print magazine. So if you're in the supermarket, you go to Publix, instead of picking up that magazine, pick this one up. You don't have to buy it, just flip through it. You can literally scan the QR code. Every single article, every single product has a QR code where you can scan it. It'll bring you to their website.
And they're all vetted, like our advertisers.
That's the thing, is they need to be vetted, right?
That's it.
You guys have already done the hard work vetting because people don't know what to get and it's so confusing, but this gives you a pathway.
Yeah. And not only that, the people so we're like a full-fledged news organization now, right? With journalists. So when you have a magazine or a news organization, you have contributors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine we're Forbes magazine and our contributors are Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Alex Hormozy. Right. So in our magazine, top
our contributors are amazing.
Like they're so big they could be on the cover.
Yeah.
They are. Like I've been on the contributor list. I've seen it. And it's the best of it. It's the echelon.
Yeah.
And the articles they write. I mean, it's very, very short, 2 pages. Oh my God, the information in these magazines, it could change your life.
Yeah. And so that's what we do, is we bring you into our world. And from there, it's all going to shepherd you and point you it's also designed to change your algorithm.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Rapid fire. Ready?
Yes.
The top, I'm going to ask both of you. I'm hoping your answers may be slightly different. The top 3 benefits you've received since biohacking.
Water is a big deal for me. I learned about water and the damage and the help it could do with having the right type of water intake, which is something we do every day, no matter what. So that's one big deal that I've learned from that.
Okay.
Second of all was supplementing the sun. I'm always indoors. We're doing podcasts. We're doing media. We're working. We don't get enough sun. And I didn't realize how much sun you need vitamin D. So, first of all, being aware to go out and get the free biohack of the sun.
Yep.
But when I'm not, we're doing the red light. And so that's the second thing. The third thing that I never used to do is grounding. And we're from New York. You're never going to take your shoes off and walk in the street in New York. There's not enough grass and you might step on a needle.
Right.
But in Florida, we're able to do that. And so now, the beach grounding is the best thing, because now we're kind of too aware. I don't want to step on pesticides, with my bare feet. But so those are the 3 kind of basics where you can get it for free grounding, or you get a PEMF mat. So those are the 3 big staples that I like to do. Mm-hmm.
So what the 3 benefits that we got?
I like what he said too, because now we have tactical and then we can do benefits.
I would say the benefits is the level of energy. I feel like I'm 10 again when I was running around and winning championships, playing ping pong, playing this, and in 10 sports a week. I feel like I'm that person again.
Yeah.
So the level of energy, I'm so thank you, God, for giving me back this energy.
Yeah, that's so
through
good.
biohacking. That's number 1. Number 2 is the clarity. My brain has never been as sharp and as clear as right now. And number 3 is our family has united over this biohacking, and it's our jam. It's our thing. We're the Avengers of biohacking. We go out And in every situation we're biohacking.
Yeah.
So we speak the same language.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm sold. 100% sold. Truman, he's over there. He's like, I'm going to biohack right now. So who doesn't want more energy? Who doesn't want to feel faster processing in their brain and cognitive health and speed? Like, I'm huge on that. And I'm always looking for that edge because it makes a difference, because when it compounds. Imagine 5 years of living up here or 5 years of living down here, where you're going to end up after those 5 years, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like compound interest. It matters. So like, don't procrastinate on taking care of yourself, on your health, on your brain health. Like, start detoxing, get rid of all the bad and start replacing it with the good to fix yourself.
Yeah.
I love it. This is incredible. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I just made it to the top 100 of the Aging Pace Olympics.
Yeah.
The what?
Yeah. So Brian Johnson has his Dunedin Pace. It's called Dunedin Pace. It's the longevity Olympics.
Okay.
So I just made it. I'm on the leaderboard. I'm 96.
Really?
He's going to be on the cover of our next magazine. So we're going to interview him. And he's excited because, you know, for the first time, he's going to meet somebody that's giving him a run for his money.
That's
Well,
amazing.
for 2 years, you know, I've tested myself. So you're supposed to test yourself for 3 years. And based on the 3-year results, then they give you the, you know, the placements.
Right.
What you guys don't know is this podcast is coming from the future, and TereZa is actually 173 years old. It's doing pretty good.
And I'm anti-age.
Yeah,
I know, imagine.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh,
exactly.
imagine.
So, you know, we're always doing all sorts of cool things. And now we have journalists, and now we're doing marketing for the people. Like, they're like, I love where you put me in the phone. Because it's a certain love language.
Yeah.
We're for the people, by the people.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're able to introduce a brand or service that we're using, they want to know, you know, in the language that they understand.
Right.
They don't want 100 studies thrown at them and say, read this, and this is why my product is good.
Right.
And they want to know that it's working. They want to know that real people have tested it, someone that doesn't have a dog in the race. And so we don't have any products or things like that. We don't plan on having any products, you know,
however we can help the patients, patients, but also the companies.
Yeah.
Because we also recognize some of the companies, some of the founders were really suffering from just not really knowing how to navigate in this business environment.
The Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla effect. They were really good inventors, crappy marketers. They needed to align themselves with some really good marketing and money guys. And so behind the scenes, we're pairing up some of these companies that deserve to be seen and heard, that should be more than just a small business, helping just a hyper local community. The kind of transformations that we witnessed, where someone's getting like a stem cell injection, an autistic kid, and literally hours later, the kid's talking.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That's one thing I wanted to, you know, give a final thought about. What we've learned is, for these doctors that we've met, there's nothing unbeatable. Like, they don't buckle in front of anything. Mm-hmm. You bring them anything, they're like Floyd Mayweather. They're ready to fight. In fact, they get excited to get more and more complicated things. There's solutions for everything. So for your audience watching this, if they have any ailment, any autoimmune, any misdiagnosis, because literally you can be brought back to the best energy you've ever felt in your life.
That's incredible.
And it can always, like, the healing is there. You just have to follow the path. Don't be overwhelmed. If you feel overwhelmed, it's because you're inflamed. So just understand that and say, okay, I'm going to allow my future self to take actions. And so force yourself through, push yourself through, take some notes, start with bare minimum. Like you said, red light, bare minimum, grounding, bare minimum, hydrogen, filter your water, obviously the food and nutrition, watch the documentaries, read the magazine on biohackyourself.com. There's a subscribe button. You can go subscribe to the magazine. Literally, we made the price so affordable. It's $29 to get an entire year's worth of magazines with some of the biggest contributors contributing. So life-changing information is just around the corner, and you can just get better.
It's really, you have to be your own health detective. That's why
I've been saying that for years.
Right.
You got to take ownership of your healthcare. My mom has stage 4 breast cancer.
Wow.
And she's been fighting that for a little while now. And when it first happened, because my best friend's wife also has stage 4 cancer. And so when they both started down the path. I'm like, don't just listen to the doctors or the oncologists or whatever.
Right.
You've got to take control and you've got to like own your own healthcare.
We know
Yeah.
6
You know,
breast cancer experts. We dove deep. Our latest documentary that's coming out, it's premiering at the Cannes Film Festival. It's called Shield. She Healed. A good portion of the subject matter was breast cancer and how to handle it, how to tackle it, how to eradicate it.
Well,
And so-
first of all, you have to stop wearing the bras with the foam.
really.
yeah.
I
Yes.
promise I will never wear it.
No, well, this is the latest discovery that
Yeah.
the foam that's in every single bra out there is covered with the toxin that leaches into your breast, into your skin.
That's insane.
So
Yeah.
it's insane. You got to wear, a fabric bra.
Yeah.
So that's A. B, don't do those regular mammograms every single year because it does more harm than help. There's actually non-radiation mammograms available, like one of our stars, Dr. Jennifer Simmons. She operates out of Philadelphia.
Mhm.
Her location is called Perfection. And she is very big on not radiating your breasts while you're checking it.
Radiating
Mhm.
mammogram.
Exactly.
Is this easy to access or is it only very few people that have those?
No,
What-
you can actually go there
Yeah.
and test yourself.
Okay.
And she makes it like a spa-like experience. So you lay
Mhm.
down,
Wow.
there's water, there's music. It's a spa
Okay.
to test your breasts, not to like actually
But
go.
someone such as your mom,
Yeah.
where she's at right now,
Yeah.
we'll talk offline, but there's so many resources, the people
Okay.
that we know. This is another thing.
Yeah.
There is something in our portfolio for someone,
Yes.
no matter what it is.
Yeah.
And when we talk about our body of work, it starts with fat lolly. It's a weight loss
Right.
issue. Then it goes into the super lollies, which is her transformation from having 2 kids together, and she had a mom bod. So to a woman, 10, 20, 30 pounds was like 125 pounds.
And then I
too.
autoimmune too.
Autoimmune, and she had a diastasis recti. Then we did another documentary about loose skin, what happens when you lose weight. So we did something on that. So I had an excuse. I don't want to lose weight because I don't want to have the loose skin. It looks ugly. Every fat guy does the same
Yeah.
thing. So you can fix that. You can erase the way you looked. And so then we did another documentary about cancer. A guy named George Farah, a famous bodybuilder. He did it's called The Guru, that he healed his cancer through nutrition, through food, healed the cancer.
Wow.
Colorectal cancer,
Wow.
worst kind. And then the biohacking, now Shield, now the dentistry. So our whole portfolio, no matter what documentary,
There's something for you to go get.
there's something for you to get, and answers.
Yeah.
Answers.
That's the biggest thing is just
Yeah.
finding answers. So this is incredible. Let's do final thoughts.
Yes.
And this has been so impactful just for me personally, just to watch your story. I would encourage you guys to go watch the documentaries because you will fall in love with the lollies. Like, they are who they are. I mean, the first meeting I had with Anthony, I felt in the first 5 minutes that we've been best friends for years and years and years. And that's rare. You don't get that a lot. You don't get that a lot, but you're a connector and you pull people together.
Thank you.
And so, and TereZa, you're awesome to be around. Your energy is infectious. You're so much fun. Like, I feel more energized just sitting next to you. And I'm not even the one on the biohack right now. And so I'm like, it's rubbing off already. This is fantastic. And I absolutely love it. And so,
Thank you.
where can everyone connect with you guys? We'll make sure we link it.
It's biohackyourself.com. Our Instagrams are very open. So it's Biohack Yourself Media, even our personal Instagrams where we communicate with a lot of people. A lot of fans reach out. They're asking, you'd be surprised of how many people reach out. Very, very, sometimes I log into the Biohack Yourself Media to see who's following.
Yep.
And some of these, the wives of billionaires, celebrities, the wives are reaching out, asking questions. Health is really bipartisan.
Yeah.
It's really something that
It unites everyone.
it unites everyone.
Yes.
Everyone has. I mean, today she got a message from a big Hollywood celebrity, a big famous actor.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, I love what you guys are doing. My son has this and that, you know what I mean? And Lyme disease. Like, these are things that, money can't buy health.
Right.
Knowledge can.
Right.
Right. And so we're so proud of that. So it's biohackyourself.com, Biohack Yourself Media, Anthony Lolli, at TereZa Lolli.
It's
And,
GRZA.
Yeah,
ZA.
And so,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we're going to wrap up. This
Yeah.
has been so incredible,
Thank
and I will never be the same.
Thank you.
I will be having dreams about limitless and running around like she does with the brain processing speed that you guys have. And I'm looking forward to the next 30 or 40 years of my life because of that. So I'm very excited. So make sure you guys go follow them and get involved and just take that next step. And we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.